Welcome to the Good Karma Sport Fishing Podcast. I'm your host, Captain Ryan Van Fleet. Today we're going to cover, or I'm going to cover a quick Florida Keys fishing report, what I've been doing lately, a fishing tip about Wahoo and colder weather, or any pelagic, blackfin tunas or snappers or whatever. And at the very end, I'm going to talk about a new spot finding course I got coming out this week, February 6th. So called the Treasure Hunt. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that one. It's awesome. I'm super excited. So let's get into it right away this morning. So we're coming off the new moon right now. And last week we had some cooler weather that came into the Keys. We had some polar weather, and I guess you can say it was polar, but it was a little chilly. Last Tuesday went mutton fishing. Excellent fishing, very good fishing. So we got them to go. We got a full limit of those fish. Very good actually. And along the reef, there was a really nice yellowtail snapper bite. So what happens is that so I'm going to weave in a little fishing tip for you guys. So I get asked a lot about when to fish for yellowtails and all that other good stuff about, you get guys that want to know about salooner and tides. And here's, what I've had my best luck in the wintertime yellowtail fishing. Honestly, if you start off in the morning and you have like 71-degree water temperature, depending on what the outgoing tide's doing and all that other good stuff. So it's a little cooler in the morning. So on those days. So what I like to do is wait until the afternoon until the water warms up about 75, 76 degrees, and then sometimes you'll have a little north wind in the morning, it'll blow out, and then the current will settle up for you, which can make for some epic yellowtail fishing later on in like mid-afternoon. So sometimes it takes like a good, 3 to 4 hours for the water to warm up, depending on, if there's wind, and there's just so many other variables that go into it, clouds. So take, for example, on Saturday, the flat calm conditions and a lot of boats out there, which is normal now for the Upper Keys. So it's changed a lot, but it's just the way of the world. So doesn't mean that there's no fish. I get that question. Are there still fish left? Yes, there's plenty of fish. So you just have to be fish a lot smarter and have some strategies now and put a lot of time in prior to going fishing. So and learning now and just learning more and spending more time, and then once you get out there, you figure a few things out, which I have a lot of courses available for that really can help you um, speed the process along. So, but anyhow, so the fishing was very good. And as the weather started to stabilize a little bit more, the yellowtail fishing got better and better and better. And for myself, last week I went wahoo fishing. The water temperature was 71 degrees on the surface temperature, and it didn't really fluctuate. I had a north wind most of the day, and I trolled. I did very well. I got my limits, and that was it. So I fished a lot smarter than I have in the past because it's just what I learned, and I just do a lot of time studying. And this time around this winter, I was like, well, let's see if I can do it. Typically, I like to use live bait this time of year, but I really like the troll lures because for one, it's for myself, it's like getting the fish to go, and that's what it is, a challenge. Live bait sometimes for me is like it's a little too easy. So when I go fishing solo, I like to challenge myself, and I build my own lures, and it's just part of the strategy. And those are things also that I go over um, as well. So in different fishing clubs, rigging crews, and also too, I have the new Patreon group available. So let's get into that one really quick, and I'll continue talking here about the fishing report as we go through the podcast here. I've got a lot to talk about here with that, but I want to show you guys the Patreon group. Now, I have a lot of content out there, and learning new stuff is like the older you get, it can be a little challenging, especially for myself. I get like to the point where some days, man, it's like, do I really want to learn how to do this? I think when I turned like 50, I was like, do I want to learn this? Like, do I really want to spend the time? And I went through a phase like that, and I was like, you know, but I worked out of it. And I some days I'm just like, so it's more for myself is like it's if I'm having like something like issues learning, and then I take a step back. Let's say, for example, if I'm going through and I'm trying to learn something new, I take a step back and I re-listen. Okay, so um, and then I absorb a little bit, then I stop. Okay. And if I need to watch a video, like if I'm learning how to like tie a new knot, um, and that's what YouTube is great for. I think really, you learn how to tie a knot, you stop it, you practice, you come back to it. If you get frustrated, you come back to it again, and you just keep working at it. And if something doesn't click right in my brain, I go back and listen again. Okay. So, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are like myself. Okay. They're like myself. So what I've done, for folks that are like new to my community, I've got so much content out there. So what we did was we created a Patreon page, and I'm gonna take you there on the shared screen now. And I have you go to the you got the home page. Okay, you got some. I go through like some featured courses here, and this salooner is very important. I do if you're new to fishing, you have to like I cut to the nitty gritty on this one. So which includes bait movements as well. So I'll show you the collections page, and on the collections page on the Patreon group, we have a lot of free content on here. I've been, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. So what we've got the best bait and lure tips. I've got the best, then I've got a collection here for those learning how to use satfish as well. I have a lot of satfish videos that I have on YouTube. So what we're doing now is anything that I have related to satfish and any of the podcasts, we're putting here at the best satfish tips. So if you've signed up for satfish and you want to learn about SST temperatures and migrations. This is where it's going to go. Best Wahoo fishing tips. I've got a lot of Wahoo fishing content out there. I've been talking about Wahoo since I started the podcast, and over the course of the years, I've changed a lot. Like I said, I continuously push myself to learn something new. Okay. And last week was a good example. I was going to push myself to go out there and fish that cold weather and troll and, fish amongst all the high speed guys that are out there and just do my thing. And I was doing something that I typically don't do, which I'm going to cover in the winter Wahoo strategies that worked because I did catch a lot of this stuff on video that I did. And I was like, and then also some visual observations as well for that course, which we have going on right now. And that new lesson releases tomorrow, which is what is tomorrow? I get so it's like the days all like get mixed in down here. It's like or anywhere. I think nowadays it's like you just don't know. Just yeah, it's lesson three goes out tomorrow, which is I got my calendar here. I take a lot of notes. So February 3rd. Okay, so I can't wait for that. I'm working on that lesson now and but editing a bunch of video. And then you've got for you guys that are really wanting to learn about grouper, I share a lot in the podcast. And then we've got the best fishing tips podcast here, and I've got some PDFs here as well. So and also to my blogs. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit more as well as far as bringing the blogs in for you guys to look at. Okay, so that's the Patreon. You've got everything here. You got different levels. You've got to join for the insider tip, and then also to the rigging crew. Awesome group. We meet once a month, and I share one video that I do, and then we have a live that follows it. Okay, and that's a question and answer group. Okay, we also post the live. And, by joining the Patreon, you can become part of that group as well. So you can just got all the information here. Okay. Then you've got all the recent posts that we've done finding Wahoo in cold weather. Okay. So that's the Patreon group. Just go to Patreon and enter Good Karma Sport Fishing and yeah, join for free or sign up for the rigging crew or get signed up for the insider tips so that I put out. Okay. So back to the fishing report. Okay. So colder weather and wahoo fishing. I don't do a lot of king fishing. When you're live bait fishing, sometimes that's all you catch are kingfish. Okay. So my over the years, my charters are the people like, they're okay with catching a couple, but then they don't really want to catch too many. So it wears them down a little bit. So by trolling lures, it takes out the bycatch of catching kingfish. But when the kingfish are in, it's phenomenal. Like, I'm sorry, when the wahoo fishing, like when it's right, everything goes in cycles. You'll have wahoo that'll be there. Then you'll have a couple kings. But right now it's kingfish season, really. There's a lot of kingfish in the zones where the wahoo are at. I'm even catching them on the troll, so which tells you that there's a lot because I don't typically catch a lot of wahoo trolling. So high speed trolling or trolling with planers, I really don't. So when I catch them on the troll, I know that there's a bunch of them. So when you're looking for kingfish, and honestly, the kingfish tastes very good if it's fresh. Um, I've actually swapped it out on a buddy of mine went fishing. He was razzing me for all the kingfish we were catching. Then we catch a mahi, and then we went to Habanos at the Tavernier Creek Marina, which is an amazing place to have your kingfish cooked. And I went in and talked to the owner, and I had him switch out the kingfish and the dolphin, and they came out fried. So I ended up getting the dolphin, and he got the kingfish. And man, at the end of the day, at the end of the meal, he was like, "Oh man, that was the best dolphin I ever had." And he goes, "No, brother, you had the kingfish." And he looked at me and was like, "We're." And ever since then, he's gives me a lot of crap for that. So awesome tasting fish when it's fresh. Okay, I'm not a fan of it frozen, but you can make some other stuff, smoked fish dip. But we just finished up some really good fish dip here that Melinda made. So anyhow, that's what's biting now, like really well. And also too, we have a very good yellowtail bite happening. Okay, very good. That's happening, which that water stabilized the water. It's very good. Good anytime you have good current, water warmed up a little bit. It works a lot of tricks to getting them to bite, though. A lot of tricks. It's not the same fishery as it is in the So for you yellowtail guys, a lot of you guys know it, but anyhow, so um, they're biting ferociously. Okay, so and then you got the kingfish that are biting, and then the wahoo are biting as well. Uh, let's kind of weave into the my fishing tip here for you guys. Also, the muttons biting. So it's the fish is really good right now. It's phenomenal. It's just a matter of catching those weather windows. It's like great fishing. The tunas are gonna bite like ferociously on this next full moon. You're gonna see some big blackfins caught. So very good. But one thing I want to like, I get asked that about like colors really matter about what you're trolling, speeds of trolling. But this is my fishing tip for you guys is that when the water temperature is 70 degrees and above, I want you to think about it like Pacific Wahoo. The water is pretty cold in the Pacific, okay? So it's like 70 to 72, 74 degrees, and they catch a lot of wahoo, okay? They just use different tactics there. So here in the Keys, when the water gets a little cooler, just know that the fish are going to be in their happy zones, and then they shadow the bait, whether they're shadowing goggle eyes, whether they're shadowing because there's a like it's like now is peak time for goggle eyes. So whether they're shadowing schools of gogs, shadowing schools of vermilion snappers, or like guys, they honestly the wahoo love they crash schools of yellowtail. So it just that's why sometimes a chartreuse lure works very good around like the Dwayne wreck. If there's a lot of yellowtail there and something's wounded and looks weird, they're going to eat it, at the peak time. If there's no other food around, that's what they're going to eat. So it doesn't mean that. And then you have the rainbow runners that are in. So, and then you also have all the other nice bait fish that are there around that wreck. So they're going to come up, they're going to eat, and they're going to go back down. So the metabolism's a little slower, so whether they want a high speed or slower speed lure, that's something you just have to figure out for yourself. Bigger profile baits work very well this time of year. Running the Nomad plugs this time of year, they anything that looks like a bonito, they're going to eat. They come up, they eat, they stop. Their metabolisms are slower. They don't need to eat a lot, and then they continue shadowing the bait, and then they go back. And then when it's time to eat again, it's time to eat again. Okay, once the water gets a little bit warmer, then they start eating a little bit more ferociously, stabilized weather, and all that other good stuff that comes into it. And that's the type of stuff that's why fishing is so much fun. So, um, so how do you figure all this out? How do you figure like how do I know? So, how do you know like listen, it's taken a very, very long time, very long time. And I constantly, like I said before, sometimes I really get frustrated with myself because I really don't want to learn how to do something. Or I'm like, do I really want to change? Or my gut says I gotta like do this myself. Well, that's not really like honestly, the days of figuring out the hard way, nobody's gonna give you a medal for that. Like it's like goes back to like somebody using a tool for a haywire twist and then somebody gives you a hard time about it. Really, um, those days are done. Like honestly, who cares? Um, I mean, I used to be one of those guys, he needs to learn how to rig a ballyhoo. Really, it doesn't like it's really up to you whether you rig a ballyhoo or not. Um, you like to have more options, obviously. For myself, like I tell them, well, do I really need to like learn how to rig this and that? And then, I mean, it really just comes down to yourself and how like for me, ballyhoo does very well this time of year. They want to like and they want it wiggled another way. They're very spooky fish. They'll come up, take a look at your bait, and you guys can see that in all the videos, and they'll back off. They can see the hook. They can see all that stuff. So you got to really get dialed in on that stuff. And it's like there's sometimes where I don't want to rig it a certain way, and I'm like, do I really want to learn how to rig this? Do I really want to practice? So in my courses, my courses are next level, okay? They're next level, they're very detailed and they're long. Some of them are long. So what I tell people is like, hey, it's like with anything else that you're learning, slow down, stop it. You have a library, okay? You have a library. The more knowledge you have, the better you get. I mean, that's just truth. Knowledge is money. Knowledge is power. So, like before there was gold, there was knowledge. Okay. And man, people wanted knowledge. They wanted it. And if you had it, then you could excel. If you didn't have it, you were stuck. Okay. So if you when you're going through and watching my videos and on the courses and the podcasts on the YouTube, there's a lot to consume sometimes. So go back, especially with the satfish stuff, go back and like stop it and then watch it again. You have a library. So there's a library, especially when you go to Patreon and you need to go through and you're struggling a little bit on some stuff, go back, re-listen, pause it. If there's a video, slow it down. Okay, you slow it down and you watch it. Okay, and and everywhere I lace nuggets along the way just because it's just who I am. That's always something that I like to do, and that's just me. And sometimes I go fast, and I do it on purpose sometimes because I'm like, go fast. And maybe I want to see who catches it, But I'm slowing down on that as I get older too. It's just I get it. So just change is good. Um, but that's just me. I've been like that for forever. So listen, it's like you want to just rewatch stuff. It just goes with everything. Okay. It goes with everything. And it's with the blogs. Okay. A lot of people when my blogs are very detailed. And go back, listen to the blog, or I'm sorry, go back, read the blogs and read them again. Stop if your eyes get tired. Take a break. If you're scrolling, um, stop the scroll. Everybody says stop the scroll. Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, you're in the matrix. Actually, you're not going to get any better watching another guy fish. Seriously, I mean, that doesn't help you. Um, So you go back and you just read something and you go back and read. You read, it's like it's and then you'll see stuff in there that I purposely put stuff in blogs because I really can communicate in there and like really show people what's happening. So because I do tend to talk fast and that's just my nature. So I communicate very well in the written too. So go back, take a look at the blogs, reread them, especially the ones that I've got some real good ones about finding dolphins. Sometimes the titles don't match up, so I've got so much stuff in there. So just go back, rewatch that stuff. Like I said, that's why we're doing the Patreon, so you have a library and you can go in there. So, um, okay. So a little bit more on the fishing report stuff. Patry fishing's really good right now. The Cyril mackerel they're biting very well on the patches, but they're also finicky. Like I said, I ditched the wire on the Ciros and I just start casting jigs. I had some clients show me about they love casting hair jigs and shit, and they were catching them on paddle tails. That's a lot of fun. So yeah. A lot of fun to do. They're catching them on small mirror lures now, just cast and ripping them across. You got to rip them across the water really fast, and that's a lot of fun. Yellow jack fishing's phenomenal. Those things are eat bear hooks, so when they're biting good. Um, okay, so I'm gonna start wrapping this up here. So I do, before I do, I want to do I want to talk about what I'm launching on February 6th. I'm super excited about it. It's something I have never done before, and it's called the it's like a treasure hunt, I guess you can say. It's like a cool, fun fun treasure hunt. So I'm gonna go back to my shared screen here. And this is goodkarmafishingtackle.com if you're new to my world. So it's got all my courses and all the courses that I create for you guys. And this is the new, it's called the treasure hunt. I'm stoked on this one because it's going to be super interactive as far as the Q&A goes. And basically what it is it's like you're going to go through and you're going to take your shallow water fishing skills to the next level, okay? Now, I'm gonna like it's gonna like show you how to redefine your ability to locate and analyze high potential fishing spots anywhere. Okay, anywhere, not just the Keys and not just in South Florida, just anywhere. So think of it like this: you're like, there's all these fishing apps out there right now, and all these spot bundles that you can buy. But how do you know if they're like you say, for example, you buy a spot bundle? How do you know if there's anything there? How do you know? You don't. Okay. And also, if somebody has the app, they're also going to have the spot as well. So there's a lot, so if I'm not saying that these are bad, but I'm going to show you a different approach to analyzing that. Now, within this course, I have a treasure chest of GPS locations for the Keys, and I have them on paper. And what I'm going to be doing, I have so many that I'm like, ah. So I've decided that what I'm going to do is we're going to, this is for anyone that at any level, okay? And it's fun for new anglers. Now, if you're new to this and you really want to like look and see, hey, I just bought a spot bundle and I want to know, like, it's like, it also will apply to like those lobster like spots that you guys buy and all that stuff. But that's out there. Um, so what it is the participants will gain access to 5 patch reef locations from my collection of the GPS from my GPS treasure book. Okay. And I'm going to pick random locations. Okay. And within that, I'm going to go through and I'm going to eh, show the the people that are in the course how to evaluate these spots. Okay. And this could be for anywhere, not just in the Florida Keys. Okay. Not just in the Keys. This is anywhere. It could be like, just think of it like that. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is just like, I can't stress enough. I can't stress this enough. Now, throughout the course, it's like it's for anything within all my communities. It's just not for the Keys. It can be adapted anywhere. Okay. Whether you fish out of Miami, whether you fish up north, it's just people say, well, this doesn't work here. It's like, have you tried it? No. I was like, how do you know? Okay. And so, and then I get a call and say, oh my God, it works. So, oh my gosh, it's crazy. But yeah, it's true. So, it works anywhere. And you'll find that a lot of techniques all over the world work great in your backyard. You just have to like open your mind and your heart to this stuff because once you do that, your whole world's gonna like explode with knowledge and like your everything's gonna come into place. So the program, like we're going to go over water conditions, targeted species, and current. Okay, current's is special. So we're going to I'm going to dig into satfish a little bit into the course, and I'm going to share some stuff that I haven't shared um, a little bit in there. And then, like I said, you have lifetime access to the recording, so you have a library that you built. Okay. So everything ties together. So if you're in the like in the rigging crew, then I've got guys that have been in there with me from day one. They've bought every course, okay? And they've been in there and they've been in the clubs. And I have to tell you what, these folks are the way they've cut their learning curves down and the sheer amount of fish that they catch is awesome. Okay? Is awesome. I wish that I would have had this stuff, but I didn't. So, and so it's part of the reason why I do this. I want folks to catch fish, and it's just nothing like the thrill of finding your own fish. Okay, um, finding your own fish, not going out there and like being unprofessional, like when it comes to fishing spots. You're going out there, you're finding your own fish, you're approaching stuff. And it's a great feeling to have at the end of the day. So, and then you have lifetime access. You can revisit the course material anytime. Um, that way you're ensuring the growth in your fishing expertise. You, and like I said, we have the Q&A that follows that, which is very rare that you have a course with a Q&A where you can be interactive with the person that gives the lesson. Usually you'd have to email them. You have to wait for an email. Is he going to email you or not? So we have a Facebook group where you'll list the questions and then I'll have the Q&A will be after. Okay. Um, Now with everything else, everything it varies. So as far as that goes. So that's the treasure hunt that launches on February 6th. Okay. And you can go to and it's right in here, right there. You just go purchase it, get started. You're gonna let's I'm so looking forward to this. So looking forward to this. Okay. That's all I got, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Get out there and do some fishing. And one thing I do want to leave with is anytime you're fishing, it's all good. What does that mean to me? That means anytime you're fishing, it's all good. Fishing, yes, can be, oh, it's so tough. I hear that all the time. It's so tough. It's so challenging. Anytime you're fishing, it's all good. It's all good. So I want you to sit on that. I want you to sit on it. Even on those days where you got 1,000 boats out there, you got all this stuff going on, you get like all this craziness. Anytime you're fishing, it's all good. That's what fishing is. Follow me on Instagram for the latest fishing reports, what I got going on, some video clips, and that's Good Karma. Sport fishing underscore FL underscore keys. Check out my YouTube channel for all the other good, like all the other videos that I post up there. And yeah, or subscribe to this YouTube channel, I guess you could say. All right, that's it. And remember, anytime you're fishing, it's all good. Thanks, guys.